Okay, so Hannah, you came to Camp Agape, and there's a reason that you're here. Tell me why you're here.
When I was 14, my dad died of heart failure, and that was a really emotional time for me. And my mom's friend told me about this camp, and she remembered that I'd been through a lot and that I had just graduated, and she needed another leader. So I stepped up and decided that I was in my mind, I was like, I think I can help, and I prayed about it and realized that this would be the right thing for me to do.
So when you were 14 and your dad died, your dad was how old?
43.
43. When you heard that your dad had died, where were you?
I was in Florida.
But physically, where were you when you got the news?
I felt like
No, my question is, where were you? Were you in the house? Were you outside?
Oh, I was on the beach.
On the beach. So how did you hear that he had died?
Well, I hadn't called him for Father's Day, and I felt really bad, so the next day I called him over and over, and he didn't answer. So I started to get worried, and I called him probably 500 times, and finally I got an answer, and they said, "Who is this?" And I said, "Hanna." And they said, "Oh, you're Frank's daughter." And I said, "Yeah, I am." And they said, "He's dead."
Just like that?
Just like that.
No preparation at all?
No.
At that moment, did you have any resentment?
I didn't believe him, and I would definitely had resentment. I felt like I was being pranked. I was in complete shock. Like, I went into this thing where I didn't want to even move. I didn't know what to say to anybody. I hung up the phone and I threw my phone in the sand, and I just wanted to get away from it.
So you missed your dad's Father's Day.
I did.
How did you feel about missing it?
I
Once you heard that he had died?
I was terribly guilty. I was terrified that actually he was, like, I was terrified that he was actually dead, and that I didn't even say anything to him. Didn't even say I love him.
So at that time, between the three emotions, anger, guilt, resentment, which one did you feel the most at that time?
Anger.
Who are you angry at?
The world, I think, and God. I was very angry at God.
Why God?
Because I was mad that he had taken away my dad. My dad was my best friend. And the fact that he could just take him away from me like that was, like, unforgivable in my mind. Like, what kind of God is that? Is what went through my mind.
So how long were you mad at God?
Years, like a year and a half maybe.
What were you thinking to God? What were you thinking to God? I mean, what kind of thoughts were going in your mind?
I was constantly thinking, like, why would you do this? Why would you do this? And then I started thinking, he's not even there. What kind of... I'd heard in church over and over, this God loves you, and he forgives you no matter what. And then in my head I was like, okay, if this God forgives you no matter what, I kept thinking of all the wrong things I did, and that he was punishing me, like, for this. And then I was like, you know what, there's not even a guy up there. This is not even right. He's not even there.
So how long did it take before you weren't mad at God anymore?
2 years.
What happened to change that?
I was in the hospital, and I had just gotten out of. I was fixing to get out of the hospital because I overdosed, and my mom the next day made me go to church, and I didn't want to go.
Okay, let me interrupt you real quick. You overdosed on what?
On this pill called clonidine.
So why did you go to drugs?
I wanted to commit suicide. I was ready for that because I was alone.
Yeah.
I was all alone.
So go on, keep going.
So my mom made me go to church, and I hated it. I was like, are you kidding me? I don't want to go to this. I don't want to listen to any of this. And forever I just sat in church and ignored what he was saying, and then he said something about death, and that's what caught my attention, was that God does things not to punish us, but to make us stronger. And that's what I stood up and I was like, and walked out of the church, and I could not listen anymore. And a couple days after that, I went to the church and I talked to the youth leader, and I was like, I don't understand. And I asked him all kinds of questions about why things happen like that, and what I could do, and just all kinds of things didn't make sense to me anymore. And he said, it's good that you're asking questions, and this is a normal thing, and that he was sorry, and that he didn't even know that had happened to me, and he was completely caring, and I finally felt like there was somebody there for me, but I was still so worried about everything, and so I felt so alone still. I didn't have any friends anymore, and I just felt terribly alone. And then weeks went by, and I continued to ask my youth minister for different scriptures I could read, and I read a lot of Lamentations. Like, I read that over and over and over, and I finally got to the point, maybe a month later, where I went up to him and I continued to ask him questions, and then he asked me if I believed in God, and I told him that I didn't know, and he read a couple of verses to me, and he read me John 3:16 for the first time, and I had not heard that, and then he played me a song, and it was John 3:16, and that kind of changed it for me. I'm not even sure why, but all of a sudden it spoke to me, and I thought, if God loved us that much, and he wanted to save us, that maybe he is saving me for something else. And I think I've seen a couple of things happen that I think I've been used for, and I think this camp is one of those things. Like, this camp helps a lot of kids. I like this camp.
So, when you came to this camp, this is the first time you've been here, right?
Yes.
So this is your first year.
Yes.
You have no idea what we're going to do tomorrow.
No.
You have no idea what we're going to do Monday.
No.
It's all brand new.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I'm interested to see what else we're gonna do. For our half day yesterday, and so far today, I really like the things that we've done, and I feel like if I had gone here when I was a kid, it would have helped me a whole lot. Like, they're building so many skills here and learning so much about what's happened, and even the things we do, some of the things that people say make me cry, and I'm like, man, I wish I'd been here when I was a kid. Man.
So, the little girl that is your buddy,
Yes.
don't say her name. How old is she?
She's 11.
Same age that you were?
No.
How old were you when
I
you
was
were?
14.
14.
But I was close, so it's close.
It's pretty close. What kind of similarities do you have with this girl that you're buddied with?
Her dad also died of heart failure, and they were about the same age. She lived with both her dad and her mom. She doesn't, so her dad died recently, and she hasn't showed any emotion yet, and I feel like that's how I was for the first couple of months. Like, I did not show any emotion to anybody, and I kept it pretty bottled up, and, she told me that when she wants to grow up, she wants to do something with computers, and she wants to, be an artist, and that she loves being in theater, and she loves everything, and we're exactly alike. It was like we were meant for each other. We were meant to find each other.
So, do you think this just happened, that y'all ended up together?
No, I think this is definitely God working in both of our lives.
Who do you think is going to benefit from this weekend? You or her?
Both of us, definitely. She's made a huge impact on my life already.
So this weekend is not about the person that you're helping.
No, it's about us too.
It's about helping yourself.
Yeah.
Do you believe that when this happened with your dad, that God maybe knew what He planned for you, that you would be here at this moment,
Yes,
at this time,
definitely.
with this girl?
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
It still hurts, like a lot that He could just take someone away like that. But, I see through this weekend, not only this weekend, but a couple of other things I've done, that it makes sense for. Like, if my dad hadn't died, I wouldn't have met this girl. And who knows what could have happened to this girl. It's definitely, God is definitely in on this.
So, as we're filming this video, this is going to go on YouTube.
Right.
And there's going to be little boys, little girls that's going to watch this video. And they're scared.
Yeah.
They're living in hell right now.
Exactly.
And they're wondering, should I go?
You should definitely go.
Tell them why they should come here.
Because you don't expect to have fun, right? This is a grieving camp. And when I heard that, I thought of little kids walking around holding their head down and not happy at all. But honestly, I've met kids who are happy to be here, and I'm happy to be here. You learn something new every day. You learn not to forget about the person, and we're not here to cure you. You don't learn, hey, I'm never going to have to feel sad again, or never have to feel mad again. This is teaching you how to deal with it, how to live every day with it. You're still going to think about that person almost every single day. But you're going to learn how to, be yourself again. You're going to learn how to live your old life. You're going to, I've learned a lot of coping skills already. And I've learned a lot about how different situations are worse than mine. When I was thinking, my situation is really, really bad, and it was terrible, and everybody never understands, and everybody at this camp is the same as you. Like, everybody has lost someone that's really close to them, and you find out that, you're not a freak. When I was younger, I was like, nobody's parents dies, and I feel like everybody looked at me differently. And at this camp, nobody looks at you differently. You're exactly the same as them. But you learn here that everybody has it different, in a way. Like, different ways people die, and different situations that you'll find are worse than yours, or you'll see that some situations aren't as bad as yours, but they're still bad.
Well, thank you very much.